Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Bluefin Design and I'm Nikhil. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you my UX portfolio that I used and I still have that helped me get my UX design job. But before moving forward, if you like my content, please leave a like to this video. So it really motivates me to share more content with you, and subscribe to my channel as I share more user experience related videos regularly, and share this video with your friends, with your classmates, with your colleagues who are yet to begin with making their own portfolio or in the process of building their portfolios. With that being said, let's get started. So this is my website. It is nikhilgala.com, and this is my personal portfolio. And so I'll include a link to my portfolio down in the description. So if you want to go through it, you can do so after watching the video. So it's really simple, as if you look at it, I just have one line on the portfolio, which is, hi, I'm Nikhil and I do product and UX design. This statement is simple, concise, and easy to understand. But before moving forward, I want to talk about why do we need a UX portfolio or an online portfolio in the first place? As creatives, as a designer, and as a fresh graduate, I think we are in this industry, working in this creative space where having just a resume or a cover letter is not enough to get a job, because the hiring manager or the recruiter is not convinced merely by looking at your resume. So to prove that you have the required skills and you have worked on different projects, you need to showcase your projects and showcase your skills, that you are able to solve a problem, more importantly than anything else actually. And you are able to take a problem and look at it through this creative lens and come up with creative solutions and designs that improve the user experience and ultimately help your user. That is the sole reason you should have a portfolio. If you now know, or you are fully convinced that you need to have an online portfolio, let's talk about what to include in your portfolio. So as you can see here on my portfolio, at this moment, I only have 4 projects. Now, 4 projects that are visible publicly. Although over the time, I have worked on various projects, and some of them were under a non-disclosure agreement. So I am not at liberty to share those on my portfolio on a public platform. But for the ones that I can, I created a portfolio and I created the process, and I shared that process that I followed and the steps that I followed for various projects. A couple of these projects were the ideas of my own, and I just thought that I want to work on this idea and solve this hypothetical problem. And the goal for this project was to follow the design process and then solve a problem. That's all. And I think I would recommend, if you are starting out, then you can take this as a starting point. You don't really need to have a real world project or a project with a company on your portfolio, especially if you are graduating from a course or you're just starting out. You just can take an idea that you think you can dive deep into and solve a problem for your users. The important thing to share here is the process, the design process that you share and you follow, and you come up with a creative solution. So I'm going to share one such project that I worked on, and this in fact was with a real company, but I want to just share how I constructed my project and my portfolio and the process that I'm sharing. So this was a project that I did with Trader Joe's, and the idea was they wanted to come up, they wanted to have a digital presence. So that's the idea that we started out with. And over the top, you can see that I have just mentioned briefly the synopsis of this project. Now, I'm not explaining in detail about 4 to 5 paragraphs of what I did. at this point, it's just a synopsis of what the goals were and what we did. That's all a viewer, which most likely a recruiter or a hiring manager is going to want to know before looking forward. So I started out giving them a desert first glimpse of what the end goal is. In this case, it's a mobile application. Now I'm clearly laying out the problem that we started out with, and the problem statement, and the objective of the project, and also my project goals. So I'm setting expectations so that the viewer knows what to expect towards the end. And this is something that helped me while working on the project as well. And this will help the viewer understand and manage their expectations of what to expect. So it's really important to like draw a line and set the project goals and the objectives of what you are going to work on, or what problem you're really willing to solve. Diving straight up into the research process and the research part of it, and I'm explaining what we did. So we started out with competitive analysis and looking at their competitors. For example, Whole Foods was a competitor for Trader Joe's. So we did multiple exercises on multiple locations of Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. So I'm just listing the pros and cons of Whole Foods and how they compare with Trader Joe's. Now, while we were doing the field exercises, we went to a bunch of their stores to do some research, to talk to their customers. Based on what we spoke to the customers who were kind of shopping in those stores, we built an affinity map of how their experience was while shopping at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods both. So we know what to look for, or what the customers or what the users are looking for, and how they feel when they go to shop at these locations. So I'm clearly sharing all these details and the steps that I'm taking. Now, the important point here is, if at any point in your project you feel that some information can be presented in an infographic manner, please do so, because I can clearly see that although a lot of research and a lot of effort went into talking to customers and gaining the insights and the feedback, but I've arranged that feedback and shown it here, categorizing in good infographic. So at just looking at it, I can understand what was the outcome. Next, we started creating the personas. So I created 4 personas, but then for each persona, we had the profile picture, a name, a bio, pain points, some motivations, shopping habits, and favorite stores specific to this project. Now, I've created a specific video about personas and how to create and what to include about it. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description so you can watch it after this one. So I'm sharing the personas and the potential users of my product, of my mobile application. And I've also noted down or presented their user journeys for a particular scenario. And I've done this for all the users. At this point, now I'm I've started to dive into creating some solutions and just putting down some ideas down on paper. So although this may look bad, but it's actually very important to share your rough sketches or your napkin sketches so that the viewer understands that you did not just move directly into using a digital tool. You spent enough time sharing and putting down ideas on paper first, and you gathered your thoughts, and now you have a good starting point. So once I had some ideas put down and I was comfortable to move forward with, that's when I started using my computer or my digital tool for the first time. So I transferred my wireframes, which were made on paper, to Adobe XD in this case, and I created the initial wireframes, and then I refined those wireframes to create a good structure. For this particular project, we had to also think about how that project or how the product was going to be used in the real world. Now, this kind of steps a little bit into like the entire service design space. So I don't want to talk like a lot about it. The link to this project is down in the description if you want to learn more about how that product is going to help the customers and the company both at the same time. So there's some more info about how that game, the Lobster Hunt game, is going to work potentially, explaining what the different steps are so the users can take advantage. Once I was comfortable with those wireframes that I created, I then moved into creating high fidelity prototypes and created a working mockup or working prototype, and then I shared a video of it here. Now, if you have a working prototype and those, if you are able to share, like create a video and share it, this is much more helpful than just looking at those wireframes or mockups or images. So like, you know, if you can look at it at a later point. And then I share some smaller workflows, for example, like onboarding the Lobster Hunt game and how it kind of incorporated into the application, how to shop for different products, like what are the different categories, how the user can browse through the application, and they can save certain recipes and favorites, like, you know, some favorite items. And then I have this final image of like all the mockups, the high fidelity mockups, so that the user, or sorry, the viewer gets a good view that I created so many screens. So this was just one project where I shared my entire process from research to analysis to design. At this point, once we created the designs, we actually handed over the project to Trader Joe's. So we were not part of the testing phase. So that's where my work or my participation ended, and I'm not sharing anything further. Another project that I did, I just quickly want to share that I actually did some market research as well for this project. And I have also shared a video about how to do market research. So if you are interested, watch that after this one. The link is down in the description. And then I also did some competitive research. And again, there's a video for this as well. Actually, there's like a whole playlist of all the different UX methods. And I'm going to share that playlist directly. So go to the description, you'll find the link there. I did also a survey. And as I mentioned earlier, if you can share something or present some information in an infographic manner, please do that. You may find certain portfolios where they just show like these are the questions that we asked for the surveys and these are the responses in like a bar graph manner. But here I wanted to set some context actually. So like what responses were the most helpful, where they actually helped me determine the course of action for this project. So I've highlighted those to set some context for the further project. And then I started creating personas and then moved into creating some storyboarding as well. And then I built an information architecture based on the open-ended cart sorting exercise that I did. And again, I'm not sharing a lot of details about how I did the cart sorting exercise. For this portfolio, I'm only sharing the results and how it came to be. Here is the information architecture that was developed based on the cart sorting. And then I moved into creating some wireframes and some high fidelity prototypes. So looking at these two projects, I hope that you get the idea of how to present your portfolio and how to create your portfolio, sharing the entire design process from problem statement to objectives and project goals, and then diving deeper into doing some research and following certain research methods, whichever you are comfortable with or whichever method helps you gain some more insights. And so moving from research, you get into analysis and then some ideation and then hopefully some testing as well. So if you are able to do some usability testing or some alpha testing and able to share those results, please do that. They are really helpful. So with that being said, I hope you got an idea and some information about how to present your portfolio. So I would suggest having 2 to 3 case studies is a good starting point, but if you have more, please share them. It doesn't hurt. So if you like this video, please leave a like to this video, and it lets me know that you really like it. Share this video with your friends, with your classmates who are starting to create their portfolios. This may be really helpful to them to refer to and to set some context. And subscribe to my channel, as I share many videos for user experience regularly. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.